What makes a killer?
In the long and violent history of our planet, no creatures have claimed the title of apex predator with more authority than the great carnivorous dinosaurs. For over 150 million years, they were the undisputed masters of the terrestrial world. But when we ask which was the deadliest, the answer is not as simple as pointing to the largest skull or the longest tooth. Sheer size is a blunt instrument. True lethality is an art, a combination of specialized weapons. To create our ranking of the top 5 deadliest land predators, we must first define our terms. We will judge these carnivores on a precise set of criteria. First, weaponry, the tools of the trade. This includes not only the length of their teeth, but their function. Were they steak knives designed for slicing flesh?
Or railway spikes built to crush bone?
We will also consider their claws, from the grappling hooks of some to the infamous sickle claw of others. Second, we'll analyze pure power and biomechanics. What was the measurable force of their bite? How fast could they run? How quickly could they turn? A predator's deadliness is directly tied to its ability to close the distance and overpower its victim. Third, and perhaps most importantly, is hunting strategy. We will look for evidence of complex behaviors. Did they hunt alone, or did they employ the force-multiplying power of a coordinated pack?
Were they ambush predators, relying on a single, devastating surprise attack, or relentless pursuit hunters that ran their prey to exhaustion?
Finally, we consider sensory acuity. How did they perceive their world? We will examine skull reconstructions that hint at binocular vision for depth perception.
And enlarged olfactory bulbs that suggest a supernatural sense of smell, allowing them to track victims from miles away.
Across the Mesozoic, the great theropod families were locked in an evolutionary arms race.
The allosaurs and their kin, the giant carcharodontosaurs, the shark-toothed lizards, were masters of the slashing bite, waging a war of attrition against the largest herbivores.
The dromaeosaurs, the raptors, sacrificed size for agility and a single, specialized killing claw. And then there were the tyrannosaurs, the last and perhaps most advanced of the great predatory dynasties.
From this brutal pantheon of killers, we have selected 5, each a master of death in its own time.
But only one can be crowned the deadliest of all time. The stage is set.
With our criteria for lethality established, the countdown can now begin.
Coming in at number 5 is a predator that dominated the late Jurassic of North America.
It wasn't the biggest, nor did it have the strongest bite, but it redefined the meaning of a successful hunter through cooperation. This is the era of Allosaurus. Measuring up to 9 meters long, Allosaurus was the lion of the Jurassic, a keystone predator in its environment. Its skull was a lightweight marvel, and its bite force was surprisingly weak, less than that of a modern lion. But it wasn't designed for crushing. Instead, we believe Allosaurus was a dynamic slasher. Its skull could withstand immense stress, and its neck was incredibly powerful, suggesting a unique hunting method. Riving its open mouth downwards like a hatchet, letting its rows of serrated, recurved teeth do the work of tearing through flesh. Its arms were also unusually large and strong for a theropod, tipped with 3 viciously sharp claws, perfect for grappling with struggling prey. But the true key to its deadliness was its strategy. Fossil sites like the Cleveland Lloyd Dinosaur Quarry in Utah, this points not to solitary hunters, but to a complex social structure. A lone Allosaurus was a threat. A pack was a walking catastrophe, capable of creating a confusing, multi-directional attack that could overwhelm and bleed out even the colossal sauropods of its time. It earns the number 5 spot for its reign as a highly successful, cooperative killer, but its less specialized individual weaponry keeps it from climbing higher. Our number 4 predator takes us to Cretaceous Africa, and to a creature that embodies the concept of death by 1,000 cuts. This is Carcharodontosaurus, the shark-toothed lizard. This was a monster on a truly epic scale, a theropod that rivaled the mighty T-Rex in sheer size, reaching over 12 meters in length. Its lethality, however, came from a completely different philosophy. While some predators evolved to crush, Carcharodontosaurus evolved to slice. Its name is no exaggeration. Its jaws were filled with 8-inch-long teeth that were flat, blade-like, just like those of a great white shark. Its skull, though massive, was proportionally lighter and narrower than a Tyrannosaur's. It wasn't built.
It didn't need to be. The hunting strategy here was terrifyingly simple. Get one good bite.
By driving those serrated blades into the flank of a giant sauropod, Carcharodontosaurus could inflict a wound of catastrophic size.
It would then simply pull back, its job done. The victim, trailing rivers of blood, would weaken from shock and exsanguination. And the shark-toothed lizard would simply follow at a distance, waiting for the inevitable. It was a brutal, efficient killer of giants, whose primary weapon was hemorrhage. It is held back from the top 3 only by its more primitive brain and sensory system compared to later predators. For our number 3 spot, we prove that lethality isn't always about being the biggest. Sometimes it's about having the most specialized weapon. We journey back to North America, to the early Cretaceous, to meet the undisputed king of the dromaeosaurs, the giant raptor, Utahraptor.
While its smaller cousins from the late Cretaceous are more famous, Utahraptor was a different class of killer entirely.
Reaching nearly 6 meters in length and weighing close to half a ton, it was a heavily built, powerful animal. Like all raptors, it was likely a highly intelligent and cooperative pack hunter. But its defining feature, the weapon that elevates it onto this list, was the sickle claw on the second toe of each foot.
In Utahraptor, this was not the delicate slashing tool of a velociraptor. This was a 9-inch talon, a thick, curved blade of bone and keratin.
For years, we believed it was used for slashing, but recent analysis suggests a far more gruesome purpose. We now think the raptor pack would leap onto its prey, using its weight to pin the victim down.
And then use that terrible claw as a grappling hook, or to repeatedly stab deep into vital organs, much like a modern bird of prey.
It was a personal, intimate, and terrifyingly effective way to kill.
A pack of Utahraptor would have been a coordinated nightmare of muscle, intelligence, and flashing, dagger-like claws.
They were, ounce for ounce, perhaps the most ferocious predators of all. We now arrive at our number 2 contender, a predator that took the Carcharodontosaur blueprint and scaled it up to its absolute theoretical limit. From late Cretaceous South America, this is the colossal Giganotosaurus. This animal was, for a time, the largest carnivorous dinosaur known to science, exceeding even the largest estimates for Tyrannosaurus Rex in length.
It was the ultimate sauropod hunter, living alongside some of the largest land animals of all time.
Like the Titanosaurs, Argentinosaurus, and Patagotitan. Like its cousin Carcharodontosaurus, its primary weapons were its teeth, long, serrated blades designed for carving enormous chunks of flesh. But evidence from related species suggests that Giganotosaurus didn't hunt these 80-ton behemoths alone. Fossil trackways show related animals moving together in organized groups. We are no longer talking about a single predator, but a coordinated pack of 45-foot-long assassins.
Their strategy would have been a masterpiece of predatory engineering, working together to separate a juvenile or weak individual from the herd, and then launching a series of devastating, coordinated hit-and-run attacks. Each bite would open another massive wound, weakening the titanosaur until it collapsed under its own weight from shock and blood loss. Giganotosaurus represents the absolute pinnacle of the giant carnivore lineage, a creature that combined immense size and devastating weaponry.
With the terrifying intelligence of a pack, it is the undisputed runner-up. It's a killer of the largest animals to ever walk the planet, surpassed only by a predator that didn't just kill its prey, but utterly annihilated it.
We have seen the cooperative terror of the pack and the surgical devastation of the slicing bite. But our number one predator subscribed to a different philosophy of death.
It did not need to bleed its victims out over miles, nor did it necessarily need the complex coordination of a pack.
Its method was one of pure, overwhelming, and absolute annihilation. This was the last and greatest of the tyrant lizards.
The apex champion, Tyrannosaurus Rex.
For decades, paleontologists debated whether this titan was a hunter or a scavenger. Today, the evidence is clear. With its massive, muscular bill, legs designed for powerful strides, and a brain case that suggests a highly advanced sensory toolkit.
T-Rex was an active and terrifyingly capable predator.
Its deadliness, the very reason it sits on this throne, comes from the fusion of two key elements that set it apart from all contenders: its senses and its bite. Analysis of its skull reveals enormous olfactory bulbs, meaning it could smell its prey, or a kill, from miles away.
But more importantly, its eyes were forward-facing, granting it superb binocular vision. Unlike Giganotosaurus or Carcharodontosaurus, T-Rex had exceptional depth perception, a critical advantage for a predator.
Needing to judge the exact distance of its final, fatal strike. And that strike was unlike anything else on Earth. The teeth of T-Rex were not the blades of a slasher. They were thick, conical, deeply rooted spikes of bone and enamel up to a foot long. They were bananas of death. These teeth were backed by the single most powerful bite force of any land animal that has ever lived. Estimated to be well over 8,000 pounds per square inch. When T-Rex bit down, it did not just slice flesh. It pulverized, shattered, and exploded bone. Fossilized remains of its prey, like Triceratops and Edmontosaurus, are riddled with T-Rex bite marks
that show bone completely sheared through.
This was not a war of attrition. It was total structural demolition.
A single, well-placed bite could instantly cripple a multi-ton victim, shattering a leg or a spinal column.
While Giganotosaurus was a killer of giants, Tyrannosaurus Rex was an annihilator, a walking engine of destruction that combined the most devastating weaponry with the advanced senses of a precision hunter. It wasn't just the deadliest dinosaur, it was the ultimate terrestrial predator. From the slashing pack to the solitary bone crusher, the reign of the dinosaurs produced an incredible array of killing machines, each perfectly adapt to its time and place. This evolutionary arms race, waged over millions of years, pushed the boundaries of what is possible for a land predator.
Their fossils are a silent testament to a world of uncompromising lethality.
And a chilling reminder of the power that life, when tested, can unleash.